5, 6, 7, 8.
Finale. It's the finale of Gilmore Girls. I can't believe it.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it.
Original series. OG
Yes,
series.
OG.
To be clear.
We know what I mean.
Yeah,
Bon Voyage.
That's true. Bon Voyage. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Gilmore to Say with Tara and Haley. I'm Tara. This is Haley. Hi, Haley.
Hi, Tara.
It's also a Gilmore Revisited episode today. It's kind of a, 2-in-1, a 2-for-1.
Combo.
A twofer.
Kill two birds with one stone.
Feed
Kill
two
birds in one
birds
day.
with one scone, as Brett Thiel likes to say. Because we are covering the finale of the original series of Gilmore Girls. This, of course, is not the finale that Amy gives us in A Year in the Life, but it is the OG finale, Bon Voyage, Season 7, Episode 22. And we wanted to share it with everybody because this is monumental.
It's monumental because it was April 2022 when we started recapping the show after our first episode of Gilmore to Say, where we said we would not be able to recap it. But it really just was because we would be talking about spoilers and cross seasons, not just sticking to the episode that we were in, which is honestly the best way to recap a show, admittedly, like this, when you know it so well.
So true.
But it's weird. It's weird getting to this point.
It is weird. And it's funny, in the last episode, if you're with us on Patreon, when we were covering Unto the Breach, which, plot twist, is a terrible episode.
Is that a plot twist?
No, I don't know. We quite enjoyed a couple of the episodes of season 7.
Yeah. Not that one.
But not that one. Anyway, we were talking about
one character, really.
That's true.
That's the plot twist.
That's the plot twist. It's Logan. If you guys are with us on Patreon, season 7 especially, I'm questioning if Haley is actually Team Logan anymore.
Haley's questioning it too.
We'll talk more about that next week in our season 7 recap.
Yeah, we will extensively, y'all. We got a lot to say about that man.
Yeah, a lot of things to say about it. But you had mentioned that this was going to be really, really emotional, and not only because it's the series finale of Gilmore Girls, and that in and of itself is emotional because we love the show so much despite the season 7 of it all, but just in general, what it means to us and what it means to our journey with Patreon. And it's something that admittedly I don't think has hit me yet, because we're not going to be doing recaps in this way for our next iteration of
But we're still doing the revival.
Oh,
so
we're doing
not
A Year in the
done.
Life. We're not done, but I just mean for the original series, there is something different about that. And I don't know if that's officially hit me, but I did get very emotional watching this episode.
Yeah. No, I got very emotional this morning because, as you know, when it's Patreon watch days, the first thing I do is I make my little coffee and I sit in my bed and I recap and type all my notes. And when I started it, I was like, whoa, it's weekly for the past 3 years. I have woken up, watched a Gilmore Girls episode and typed out all my notes. And this is the last one in the True series. And I was like, wow. What a journey we've been on doing this. It just felt so, I don't know. I felt emo going into it. So I think that my recap of this and my notes were colored by my own emotions.
Yeah.
I definitely cried a lot.
I did too. I texted Haley when I was done, right before we hopped on. I was like, I have to reapply my makeup. I'll be there in a few minutes.
I had no makeup on, thank goodness. But obviously you don't wake up with makeup on. Maybe you do. Midge Maisel. But that's for another recap. But yeah, I remember so clearly watching this episode because, as I've talked about a lot on Patreon, I read spoilers. So I knew what was going to happen. I knew that we weren't going to see Logan again. I knew kind of the gist of it, but it was different watching it. I remember the WB was really, or the CW at the time, was really pushing that this was the final episode ever, which was devastating. And I remember sitting in my living room crying over losing my girls because I never knew that I would see them again.
Of course. I actually do not remember watching this.
Really?
I don't remember the first time I saw this at all. No, because I didn't watch it live.
Because you would have watched it on Netflix or ABC Family. Or
correct. Not
even box set, because you hadn't even opened your season 7 box set.
No, I did not. I really do not remember the first time I watched this episode. I don't remember it. And I thought maybe in watching it, but I've seen it so many times since. Not as many times as I've seen seasons 1 through 4 or 5. But yeah, I thought maybe it would evoke some sort of memory for me of watching it, but it didn't because I don't remember.
Yeah. I watched it alone, which was like quite rude of me because I would sit in the living room and turn on the CW, obviously, and like make my family leave.
Yeah.
Very much a communal space. Like we have an open concept house. So like I made everyone leave the area. So I could like properly have them, because I didn't have like cable connection in my room.
Yeah.
So
no,
like,
it was very precious. It was a very precious moment.
But yeah, the girls were gone.
The girls were gone. Yeah, this is the thing is that I think a lot of my emotion from watching this episode comes from a similar place that Partings did, where knowing the behind the scenes of it all made me so much more emotional than just watching the episode for what it was, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't know, and I have thoughts on this, but they didn't know that this was going to be the series finale for sure. I think the way it was written, it's pretty obvious this was the series finale.
I remember that they weren't sure if it was going to be picked up.
Yeah.
So they were prepping it to be that, with the opportunity to explore new avenues in a new season. Mm-hmm. But like all of the conversations that happen,
every single piece of dialogue in this, I'm like, this is the series finale.
We're saying goodbye.
There's a lot of finality in this episode.
100%.
So I have a difficult time believing that there would be more story to tell after this, outside of course, where we go in a year in the life, because we have a lot of separation from this storyline.
Yeah.
But I said this in the last episode that I was like, the next episode is the series finale. And it is, for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to bury the lead, a pretty solid series finale.
They ended the show. Okay, I was really upset in the year 2007 about the Logan situation.
Yeah, of course.
But I think they ended this really, really well.
I agree.
I think a season 8 could have been, as was once referenced on the pod, the Barack Obama parade tour would have been quite interesting to cover. But beyond that, this just feels like it wrapped it up really well.
It really did.
Lots of thoughts.
We have a lot of thoughts on
lots of
season 7 as a whole, and we will get into those on pod next week, because we did not enjoy this season very much at all. But all of that said, they did a very, very fine job with this finale.
Yeah, I I had lots of notes and comments for this episode in particular.
Oh, as do I.
Okay.
As do I. But
I also felt, as we've talked about in the past, that like watching it to take notes is very different than watching it. And I think more so than any other episode, I wanted to just sit and watch this episode and not take notes on it. And there were various moments where I was like, oh shit, I have to rewind and write any thoughts down.
I know. I tried to be very diligent about taking notes, but also wanted to absorb as well, specifically this episode. With all of them, I try to do that. Yeah. But it is hard because we're here to approach it from an analytical perspective, and we will, of course, do that. But there is a lot of emotion that goes into this.
There's a lot of deep feels for our girlies.
So let's get into it. This is season 7, episode 22, Bon Voyage, written by David S. Rosenthal, directed by Lee Shallot-Schemmel, and originally aired on May 15th, 2007. And the box set description reads, an exciting job offer for Rory and a beneficent gesture from Luke add up to a big surprise party where every Stars Hollow friend, neighbor, and eccentric exuberantly celebrates the Gilmore Girls.
It's true.
It is true.
I think that's a good one.
That is what happens.
That is what happens.
The Netflix description reads, in this series finale, Rory makes a sudden change in her summer plans, and Luke enlists everyone in Stars Hollow to throw her a farewell party. Okay. Honestly, I like them both, which is shocking. Because we usually have a very strong opinion about one or the other here on this podcast.
Do you have the Hulu one?
I do not have the Hulu one. For some reason, I don't remember my Hulu login. I'm automatically logged in on my TV, but not here on my computer. I think I cleared my cookies, and you know when that happens, like you clear your cache or something, and everything goes away, and you're like,
no more cookies.
No more cookies, and then you don't know how to get into Hulu. It's bad, but I don't have the Hulu description. I'm sure it is some offshoot of the Netflix description, as we found out. But the chapter titles from the box set are 1, Christian Amour, credits. 2, Just Friends. 3, No Rory, No Party. 4, Time with Lane. 5, Big Tent. 6, Bus Wisdom, at Luke's. 7, End Credits. Bus Wisdom is weird, but...
Bus Wisdom is weird. Big Tent surprised me. Time with Lane is a little lame. I really like the first one.
Yeah, the first one was nice.
So I like No Rory, No Party. That's cute.
I agree.
So I'll give it like 50-50.
Yeah.
30-70.
Yeah. So we start with a previously on in this episode. And what we also learned in the last episode, Unto the Breach, is that they're really doing previously ons in a way that is like, genuinely, we're going to show you what was on the last episode.
Yeah.
Rather than
on this episode.
Yeah. I feel like Gilmore Girls previously ons usually include some sort of foundation from the like episodes from the past, even in past seasons. And I really, really wish that, I don't know, we had gotten like, maybe because they didn't know that this was the series finale for sure. I really wish that we had maybe gotten something a little more sentimental than just showing us what was in the last episode. I think that from the jump would have made me immediately sentimental.
Yeah. I think that, well, like, previously ons like serve a purpose, like, you know, because like we watched this last week. Let's have a refresh. But given the content of this episode, I feel like it was deserving of some flashbacks.
Especially given where we go in the cold open.
I was about to say, it would have been great to have the Lorelai's first day at Yale when she's talking to Headmaster Chilton about what she wants to do. And she's at what?
Chilton. You said the Lorelai's first day at Yale. You meant the Lorelai's first day at Chilton. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. I was like, no, his name is Charleston.
Headmaster Chilton.
Headmaster Chilton. When she tells him about what she wants to do with like her career, that would have been a good little callback.
I completely agree, and I wish we had gotten something like that. And that's kind of how we felt about Unto the Breach, and we talked about that in that episode, that we wish that we had maybe gotten some shots from the Lorelai's first day at Yale in the previously on, because it is really monumental. Like, these last few episodes are so monumental, and a real callback or a full circle moment to some of those really foundational episodes of Gilmore Girls from the past that put us in those warm, cozy vibes. So I wish we had gotten a little bit of that, but they're setting up the foundation for this last episode and what just immediately happened, which of course ends with Logan Huntsberger going, "Goodbye, Rory," grabbing his ring box and walking away. Which is a bummer.
We shout a lot about that in the last episode if you want to
definitely
go on Patreon. Hear more about that disappointment. But not disappointing.
No, this cold open, it was very cute. There are some lalas that are leading us into this cold open. We're at the Dragonfly Inn, the exterior, and Lorelai pulls up in her Jeep with Rory. She's just pulled her out of bed because she's telling her that Christiane Amanpour is at the Dragonfly, and Rory does not believe her. She's like, "Remember that time you thought you saw Sandra Day O'Connor?" And she was like, "Okay, but this is different. Like, I know this is her." Yeah. And Rory is like, "There's no way it's her," and turns and sees that it is her. And she's like, "I'm in my pajamas." And Lorelai's like, "Yeah, I really tried to avoid that for you."
She tried to tell you, Rory.
Hello.
But I get it. I'm on both sides here.
Yeah, sure. But I would have at least maybe put on, I don't know. She really didn't look that bad. It's not like she was in her cake pajamas.
No.
The pajamas with the cakes on them. She was in like a t-shirt and like stretchy pants.
Yeah, like sweatpants.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
No.
But she's staying at the Dragonfly. Michelle didn't tell Lorelai because she notoriously embarrasses herself and them in front of celebrities, which is...
Namely Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei.
I loved that.
I played trivia with Marissa Tomei once.
Did you?
Yeah, because she was doing a show with my friend Ellen, who was running trivia at the time. And they were in the Rose Tattoo on Broadway in 2019. And so she convinced Marissa Tomei to come to trivia. Yeah. And we played trivia with her. She was in my group. It was very fun.
Was she good?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I was just
Shout out Marissa.
I'm sitting here with Marissa Tomei. Anyway, yeah, so that is kind of Michelle's only cameo in this episode, which bummed me out. He's at the party, but I just was kind of bummed. Yeah.
I don't remember him.
Well, they do when they're doing like the pan of all the people.
Yeah. Okay.
He's there, but like not. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's such a bummer. I needed more Michelle.
But
petition for more Michelle.
Well, we get more of him in the revival. Thank goodness. I actually like where he goes in the revival, admittedly. But yeah, we'll save that for that. Rory decides that Lorelai is going to go talk to her. She needs to send her mommy over first so that she can talk to her.
Totally get it.
And decides to hide behind a column.
Yes, she does. It's very, very funny. I'm like, yeah, you go hide behind that wall.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, from just an audience perspective, Christiane Amanpour is a really great actor. She did a great job.
Yeah.
I was so proud of her. It felt very natural. You know, sometimes when you have non-actors who are well-known
lines,
you know, notable people come on, it can go one way or the next. And she did a fantastic job.
She played herself very well.
She did.
Which I think is hard to do.
It can be hard to do sometimes. But she did a really, really fine job. And what I will say is, for all the flack we've given season 7 about, like, did you watch the show before you wrote this season? This is an episode where I do feel like they really tried to add those Gilmore Girls elements and the history of the show into it. And this is one of those moments. It's like, she hasn't really talked about her too much in like recent episodes, but we know that this is a person who means a lot to Rory, and she's so cute when she comes out like sheepishly and like it's like, hi. Hi.
She's so just is talking about like how much she admires her, and she's so kind to her, which, like, of course that's what she's supposed to do. That's what she was scripted to do.
Yeah, that's what she was written to do.
That she even gives her card to stay in touch.
Very sweet.
Send her what she does, which I was like, this is fantastic. Like, this is like the fact that y'all got her for this and like she agreed to do it was so cool. So my only qualm with this moment,
tell me,
was when we hear beep beep and she goes, that's my cab. We just rewatched Rory's dance and Dean was like, honk honk, and Emily was like, absolutely not. You do not, like, you're not summoned by a honk. And
do you remember Aaron's Party by Aaron Carter? When his parents go beep beep and he goes, have a good time. I don't know why. And just this moment reminded me of that. Beep beep beep. That's my cab. The doorbell rings because the party's here.
This episode could not be more like that.
Yeah, exactly. This could not be more similar to Aaron's Party than anything else in this world.
Rest in peace, Aaron Carter.
Oh gosh. Oh man, I forgot.
Yeah.
Sad. Very sad. But boy, was that a bop.
That's my cab.
Exactly.
It actually, the way that I said that, this is like so random, and I don't know if any of you had this toy, but it was from a Barbie like medical kit. So like you could play Barbie doctor, and like I don't remember if it was a thermometer or like an ear, whatever you put in your ear. Regardless, but like you hit it and it goes beep beep. You're very healthy. All done. And so that reminded, like, beep beep. That's my cab.
All done.
But I was like, funny. Really? That's but I would have made sense if she was just like, okay, I actually have to go waiting for my cab to get here. She just walked up and it's just the beep beep. That's my cab.
Yeah, it was cute. It was very sweet. It did feel very natural. Like, maybe other than that, I thought it was really, really well done. And she did a fantastic job and a really nice little
homage to young Rory.
Yeah, really great cameo. I really liked that. But again, this to me is giving, this is the series finale.
Yes.
And we started out strong with an appearance by Christiane Amanpour. Like,
great job.
Absolutely. So then we get the opening credits. We go to the Lorelai's house, and Lorelai is sitting on Rory's bed as she has all these boxes she's unpacking, and they are planning for this trip that they're taking where they're kind of doing, it sounds like, a tour of roller coasters. And Lorelai mentions Lake Compound's home of the Boulder Dash, which is, I believe, one of the largest, if not the largest, wooden roller coaster in the country. And I have spent many a summer at Lake Compounds. It is...
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Have you been on Boulder Dash?
I have never, ever been on Boulder Dash. It
sounds
always
scary.
Scared me. Yes. And if you see it, you might feel scared too. I think maybe now I'd be fine. But I just...
Why now?
As an adult. Yeah. Oh. I think when I was younger.
It's scarier as an adult.
Actually, it might be scarier as an adult. You're so right. Because you have seen Final Destination 3 and you're scared.
Yeah. Just like you have this like blind trust when you're younger that you just don't have now. You
That's
just kind
so
of like,
true.
You're like, that sounds kind of rickety.
Yeah.
Wooden?
Exactly. And that's
I don't
the thing
really
is
like roller coasters though.
When I was younger, I loved roller coasters. And then I started to get spooked when I was like in late middle school, early high school, like early teenage years. And now I kind of am hit or miss on a roller coaster. Yeah. So maybe I spoke too soon. Who's to say? But Boulder Dash is a big deal. I love lake compounds. It is one of my favorite places that I went to growing up. And when Lorelai mentioned it, I was like, lake compounds, love you. They're Halloween. They set up for Halloween as well. And in college, we used to go and they'd have like a haunted house, and that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of good times there. But anyway,
spooky, scary,
a little spooky, scary, but a lot of fun. So they're doing some sort of roller coaster tour. She's talking about all the different places they could go, the Cyclone at Coney Island, and then heading out west. And so they're doing a little tour, and I kind of love this. This is giving our backpacking trip through Europe, but we're staying in the country.
Yeah. Road trip.
Know, post-graduation. And I love that Lorelai has taken it upon herself to give Rory something to look forward to, because she kind of doesn't really know what's next. But she does have 74 resumes addressed and sealed, ready to go. And I want to believe that she would have done that on her own, but that Christiane Amanpour also gave her the confidence and the chutzpah to be like, I'm going to send out all these resumes. I am doing this, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, because that was like what she talked about with her, where she said like you just get in there and you do the work. In there.
Yeah.
And I wish she would have heard from her before she turned on the Projo, but
I agree. I agree,
but yeah, this is the Rory I love. I love seeing her put all these stamps on there.
Me too.
That I would have loved to see her go to the post office, but we have enough in this episode going on.
I agree.
But after that, she starts helping Lorelai unpack, or it seems like Lorelai's not doing much unpacking. She's doing the chatting and Rory's doing the unpacking. And what does she unpack? The rocket. The love rocket from Logan.
Yeah, and it's giving like, aw, the rocket. Aw, the chicken. You know, like it's like this is her Logan box almost.
It's her Logan,
and
yeah.
She asks if she's talked to him. She says no. Which I can't decide if I'm surprised by. I can't decide if I wish she had been like, yeah, I tried to call him, but he won't talk to me. Something like, I just don't feel like we've gotten closure on these people at this point. Did you? I mean, I know that you were much younger, but did you feel like you had gotten closure on the two of them?
Absolutely not. I cannot express to you the desperate feeling that I had that this man was going to show up at the party later while watching
I'm
this.
Sure.
He doesn't.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't.
But I almost didn't believe this interaction that happened here, because it's so sideswept that like she's like, I am so sad. Like the sadness comes in waves, like very close together.
And I'm like, where? I felt that way in the last episode. Are you sad?
Like I'd
be devastated. If I saw that rocket and I had the kind of relationship that she and Logan had, I would burst into tears.
Because she didn't want it to end. He
ended
it.
Yeah, no. There's just so much non-emotion. And I know that that's kind of Rory's MO. We kind of never really know what she's thinking, but she's describing it and it's not aligning with her energy. You know?
It's not. But yeah. And Lorelai saying it'll get better. She's like, oh, did it get better with you and Luke?
It felt like a mechanism to get us from...
to Luke.
Just to get us to Lorelai talking about Luke, because we know where this is going by the end of the episode. Absolutely. And she goes, I think we're done.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Yeah, I've been there before.
Because she talked about he didn't respond to the song. And I was like, well, now you make it seem like it was purposeful. That was like a drunken incident.
Exactly. That was an incident. I wish that they already had this conversation, I guess, where she kind of says, like, I feel like I embarrassed him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But she says she needs someone to show her how he really feels. And Luke does in his own way. Luke in season 6 not so great at it.
Maybe in the first half. And in season 5, I think he did a really good job. But we did feel like it was out of character for him to step into that version of himself at the end of season 4. Be bold enough to ask her to go to Liz's wedding. Yeah. You know, there are so many different things that he did that we were like, oh, Luke can waltz. Like, it's surprising because it's not his first instinct. That's not his default setting. And so when he does do things like that, when he does talk about how he feels, it is a little surprising because that's not his MO. And so she does say, I need someone who shows me how he feels, and Luke cannot do that. And I was like, okay. I would have accepted that.
Well, yeah, it's pretty true because like it takes like a big gesture from him, like a big act of service to kind of really feel that from him. You can't do that every day. As it turns out. I mean, he does it in small ways. He shows up.
And we give people space and room to grow. But he just, I think where Lorelai is coming from is she's not looking at the relationship as a whole. She's looking at how the relationship ended. And the second half of season 6, which is what she was left with, was this idea of like, this man is telling me how he feels, but pushing me out. And also like, I couldn't get a gauge on him and I don't want to have to pull things out of him like Link sausages. Yeah. You know?
Which famously he did agree to.
He did agree to, but I didn't agree to pull your feelings out of you.
Exactly.
But she says we're better as friends. Yeah. Hey, Luke, can I have some coffee? Hey, Luke, can I have burgers for Rory's reenactment, her graduation reenactment? My what? I was like, oh, you didn't tell the
you didn't
graduate?
know.
You didn't tell the guest of honor?
Ooh. She was like, oh, it's just this little thing where we're going to reenact your graduation and the Stars Hollow Band is going to be there and everyone you know.
Yeah, everyone you know. You're going to have to rewear your cap and gown. It's in the town square. And she's like, Mom? Like, what the fuck? I love that.
She owes her, though. So
it's true.
Boy, does she ever.
Boy, does she ever. So we go to Luke's. And Luke is ordering dogs and burgers for the party. This guy, Charlie, a.k.a. Chuck, as Liz likes to call him. I love that he's pushing the brats, he calls it. The bratwurst. Yeah. The brats. And he's like, Charlie, who canceled the bratwurst order?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh. It was very, very funny.
You know what's funny about Charlie, though, is like, never met Charlie before.
Never in my life.
But here in this very last episode of this series, they're trying to convince us that Charlie's someone that
we should all know.
When Liz comes in, it's like, hey, Chuck. I'm like,
oh, Charlie / Chuck.
Who is this?
Who's this?
And why do you care? But it's so small that it really doesn't matter. I was just like, what are you guys doing here?
Totally.
Bring in the hee-haw man.
Yeah, where's the hee-haw man? Or like, I don't know, somebody we recognize, Pete from the pizza place. Even, you know, I don't know.
George
Bring
Bell.
in Tom the contractor. I don't care. But someone we recognize.
Don't care?
No. I do care. I care very much.
You don't care that Tom is like now working in the food industry?
Tom
like
the
what
butcher?
happened to the contractor? Tom
the butcher? Tom? He could do whatever he wants. He's a multifaceted man. He's a multi-hyphenate. He wears a lot of hats.
He's expanded the
He's
empire.
expanded. The expansion, Suki. The expansion.
Empire, Tom.
Exactly. But I have to say, outside of that, this scene with Liz bothered me. It just felt like
filler.
And yes, a plot device. But what I really, really wish, because of course, Liz comes in, she says hi to Chuck. She brings in Dula. She's like, Dula wants to say hi to her Uncle Lukey. She misses him so, so much. And it's like, yeah, of course you want him to babysit. And she's like, I want to get something nice for the party on Saturday. Where is TJ? Where the hell is TJ?
I miss him so much.
I miss him so, so much. I digress.
Is he at the party?
No. He's not at the party. But she brings up the necklace. Did you give it to her? What about the song? You know, all this stuff. And I just like, it just feels so forced. And I didn't like this scene, but here's what I wish had happened. And maybe I would have cared for the scene a little bit more. The shift within Liz between being an advocate for Luke and Lorelai in season 6, season 4, 5, and 6. And then all of a sudden at the beginning of season 7, she's like, yeah, it was never going to work out between the two of you. To now all of a sudden being so like hyped.
She did have that switcheroo though.
She did.
It
bothered me then too.
But they addressed it. TJ addressed that with her.
Yeah, he was like, you're the one who said that like they weren't right for each other. And she's like, well, you know, I could be wrong. And it's like, yeah. But why did we even have to go there to begin with? We didn't need, I wish that Liz had been the voice of reason with Luke being like, kind of how he is being here. Like, no, it doesn't work. We don't work. Instead of her being the one to say, yeah, you guys, I knew it was never going to work out. It's like, okay, now I just like nothing about this feels authentic to me now because you're literally just using Liz as a plot device for whatever the plot calls for as far as Luke's storyline. We didn't want the audience, well, I don't want to say we didn't want the audience rooting for Luke and Lorelai, as I'm putting myself in the shoes of the writers. I wasn't there. But I don't think that they wanted us to really be like, oh, we're pining for Lorelai here in the first half of the season. Lorelai was off to figure things out with Christopher. He was being mean the whole bit. And it's like Liz was then just kind of mirroring that energy until it called for us to start hoping for Luke and Lorelai again. And then she was mirroring that energy. And I'm like, I didn't like it.
It just felt like a, obviously the scene was to push Lorelai, like the Luke and Lorelai agenda forward.
And to remind us about the necklace.
I think it would have been more interesting, though, for Liz to see Rory in some way. Rory's wearing her earrings.
Sure.
And, like, maybe it come up in that way. That's like, oh, what? And the necklace? What necklace? Like something like maybe Rory's going to the post office, take her stuff. And Liz and Luke are in there. And she leaves and finds out that she didn't give her the necklace. Something like that. I don't know.
Something. I just didn't love this scene. I thought it was a little pointless, but not him ordering the food.
That comes back.
Great.
And
that comes back later.
But yeah.
Her and I don't know.
It was slow, and I think that's a thing. I will allow it this slow scene.
Yeah. Totally. So we leave them there. We go to Friday night dinner. The last Friday night dinner.
This
is when I started getting emotional. This is where I started to go. I wrote my first note was the last Friday night dinner, ?
Yeah.
Because I didn't remember every nook and cranny of this episode. I knew the general trajectory of where we were headed. I knew we would see them again at the party.
Yeah.
But there is something different because when I think about, especially with you and I doing our rewatch in preparation for this fall's new version of Patreon, we've seen like the beginning stages of Friday night dinner and what that looks like. And to see how much it's shifted is really, really cool.
Yeah.
But
the lighting has changed
so much. The lighting
has
just keeps, like the dimmer just keeps going up and up and up and up. But, Friday night dinners are sacred. This is a big deal. And they acknowledge it.
Moment.
And again, this was also when I was like, oh, this is the finale. This is. There's a finality here with Friday night dinner.
The end of this scene really gives that feeling.
Totally.
But Rory's not there yet because she had drinks, quote unquote. And Emily is not okay with this because she'd be okay for Rory to miss Friday night dinner for an interview, but not for drinks.
Right.
And Lorelai's defending her because she's trying to make this connection, get a job, etc., while also telling her about the roller coaster tour. It seems like they're going on. That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're gonna ride roller coasters for a month?"
Yeah. But Lorelai's justification for it is great. She's like, Rory needs a break. This might be my last shot at a summer with her. Spending time with her like this, because what if she goes off and finds a job and we never have this opportunity again? Let's seize the moment.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that Emily responds to that as like, stop being so maudlin, that like she sees this as like we're having to say our final goodbyes to Rory and we'll never see her again. But like, it's a good comment from Emily because it recognizes that she still doesn't grasp their relationship. Like, she will still see her, she will still visit with her, but like it'll never be like it has been for the last 22 years.
Totally.
Because she's gonna move on, supposedly. We're disregarding the revival.
Yeah.
But I do like that she really wants to have that. And I like that we're building it here before Rory comes in. Or not before Rory comes in. I'd want to mention that Emily is pushing for a spa. Not to bring the revival up, but she's pushing for a spa.
I want to know if that was something that Amy knew about.
I don't know. It's one of those things that if you don't know the lore of the show and you're just like binge watching it and you're like, oh, cool, I finished the original series, gonna pop right over to the revival now. And you're like, wait, they want to open a spa? That's what Emily wanted to pay for the spa.
Right.
So like that's kind of confusing as a viewer. And I understand the principle that Amy had, that she wanted to do things her own way.
Totally.
But I do think there's an element as a viewer, as someone who's watching this for the first time, that you're like, wait, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, I have to watch the revival to see to remind myself how it's implemented. Because
it's Michelle that wants the spa.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Fascinating. That's what I wrote here. Emily thinks Lorelai should add a spa to the end. Fascinating.
Yeah, which is like how the series really comes full circle in the revival, but like that's how they're trying to make this come full circle here. I think that their attempt is a little weak
here.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that Emily is the one is seeking out, trying to give Lorelai money.
Yes, because we know the purpose behind it, and I love what it gets, where it gets us when we get there. But that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you, is like if you remembered whether or not this was something Amy knew about, because I know she had
We'll have to ask her.
People who were super fans of the show in the writer's room to remind them of things that maybe they forgot, or things that happened in season 7 that, you would maybe need to consider in writing A Year in the Life. Interesting.
I wonder how much of it she just said, fuck it.
I wouldn't be surprised. But ding dong, Rory is here and she has gotten a job.
Ding dong.
Ding dong. Rory's gotten a job.
If you're not with us on Patreon, that sounded crazy.
And she leaves in 3 days. So the drinks that she was getting were with Hugo Gray, who we've met. And he has an online magazine, an online
magazine that they haven't like really expanded upon.
No. Just something that's not like an official newspaper. It's not the New York Times. It's not the Pro
It doesn't have like
Joe.
a print aspect.
It's a digital magazine. And the person that he had to cover Barack Obama's parade tour, as Haley loves to call it, his campaign.
I don't love to call it. I couldn't remember what it was called.
Wait.
That was like 2022. It's like 2022.
It's true.
My brain malfunctioned.
That's true.
And
Hold on a second. I don't love to call it anything.
I would love to call it the campaign.
His campaign trail. Yeah.
His presidential campaign trail. I would love to call that by its given name, by its government name.
Government given
literal
name.
Government name.
But anyway,
alas, my brain can't do that. So, but that's what Hugo wants. He wants a reporter.
He needs a reporter because the person who was supposed to cover it is moving to Dubai.
Isn't it hilarious? Why though? They're leaving because their fiance is moving to Dubai and the reporter is moving with them. So Hugo is losing that person.
Ooh.
And Rory is filling that spot.
I didn't even catch that.
I
caught
could
it, but
only
I didn't
think
put
of
two
that.
and two together.
I was like, Rory, how do you feel about that?
You could have been that girl.
You could have been the one leaving.
Interesting.
He wasn't taking her to Dubai. He was taking her to an avocado tree in Palo Alto. But wow. Anyway, I thought that was very fascinating.
Very fascinating throw in. She has to leave in 3 days. She has to be in Iowa on Monday.
Crazy.
And so, Richard is excited, as is Lorelai. She's excited too. Emily's skeptical. But Rory said yes. She said yes. Like, she accepted the job on the spot.
She came in and
why
she
wouldn't
said,
she?
I got a job.
Yeah. Crazy. And so Rory is starting to spiral a little bit. She's like, am I ready for this? I don't even get a breath. I don't even get a break. What about the roller coasters? And Lorelai's like, we'll do the roller coasters another time. The roller coasters will be there.
After she just admitted that there's not going to be another time. So you're like, this is where your heart starts truly breaking in half. Because you're like, oh, the girls are partying. Partying's for real.
Part 2. And Emily says, so this is it. And that's when I started crying.
Yeah, she says, who knows how long we'll see you till we'll see you. And then that's when Lorelai says, definitely after dinner drinks.
Yeah, because the idea of after dinner drinks had come up because Rory wasn't there for drinks, because she was getting drinks with Hugo Gray. For me, when I really, really lost it was when the camera goes to Ed and he has tears in his eyes.
No. Oh my gosh. That was it. That was the moment.
Yeah, because it's like, who knows the next time we'll see you. And it's clear that they filmed this knowing it was going to be their last Friday night dinner. On the inside, they knew.
They had to have, even though they didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like, I know that the story goes, well, I say the story goes, but like factually what I know is that Ed Herman found out from the guy at the video store in his town that Gilmore Girls was canceled. He didn't even know. Lauren was the only one. I think Lauren and Alexis were the only people that they told.
So they called.
Yeah. And that they were formally told by agent, studio, etc. And they didn't know that. And they would have liked to have disseminated the information like from them rather than people hearing just in the news. And so I wonder how much they actually knew that was the last one.
Yeah. I just feel like, given all of the dialogue in this episode, it feels so final.
It feels like the writers knew, and it felt like the people making it probably knew. I don't know how much the actors really accepted it. I know.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. You don't want to grieve something too prematurely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to give it its due. That's sad. And I know that's what makes the revival so special.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the nature of television, though, too, is like a lot of shows never get closure. A lot of actors have no idea that their last day on set is their last day on set. Like, so many shows ended before they should have.
Yeah.
Like The Babysitter's Club. What a good show. Canceled that. What was that about? But anyway.
No.
But there's just like that element of it. It's like, how much did they know?
Right.
Would love to talk to Miss Kelly Bishop about that.
I would as well.
Who thinks we're clever?
It's true. The rumors are true.
The rumors are true.
So it's the next day. It's Saturday. They go to Luke's. Rory has a list. They're on a mission. They have a lot to do. This is giving season 4, episode 1. Ballrooms and Biscotti, where it's like, oh my God, we only have a couple days to do this. And so they go in. They immediately get 2 cups of coffee from Caesar, who is very chipper.
No, they don't get 2 cups of coffee. They get Java 1 and Java 2.
You're right. Java 1, Java 2. And Caesar is being very excited, very overzealous. And he is genuinely like taking the plates out of Luke's hands because he wants to show him and prove to him that he can handle things if Luke leaves. Because the boat trip was canceled.
But he also can, because like season 5, episode 1, Luke was at the Renaissance Fair Festival
for the whole summer. So I don't know why this is up for debate,
with
but
the hee-haw man.
Yoo-hoo. So Lorelai breaks the news to him like, hey, I have to cancel all of those, burgers and dogs that you ordered, and it's because there's not going to be a party. And Kirk overhears this, and he's like, wait, there's no party. And of course, Patty, Babette, and Lulu.
Well, they hear that because Lulu goes, what job? It's my favorite line delivery in the whole episode.
I was like, Lulu?
Yeah, Lulu goes, what job? She was so incensed that she's employed. It killed me.
I will say that I wrote down here, Luke is thrilled, the Townies are not. And I love the Townies. They're some of my favorites. Yes. But them in this scene was so Broadway play. It was giving...
Absolutely, they were the ensemble.
But what do you mean Rory's not going to be here? It's not the same. Like, when Patty stood up, I was like, oh, okay.
Well, when Kirk proposes once again.
Yes, he's Lulu like, my proposal was for Lulu to play Rory this whole time.
But it really was Lulu going, what job? Like she had a knife under the table. Killed me. But then they go, oh, we'll give you a reenactment right now. Picks up a menu, like does the whole
Summa cum Luke.
Summa cum Luke is maybe the best joke they've made this entire season. I don't even, have I noticed that before? I have to have, but it was like absolutely my favorite. That was the best line in this whole episode. I did say no job was
this whole episode,
what job?
But what job was also great, but
Summa cum Luke.
May we never forget. We'll talk about it in the next episode, but may we never forget the line that Lorelai said to Suki after she found out that Jackson hadn't gotten the vasectomy.
Oh, okay, that's really high up there. Okay. Those are like tied. Summa cum Luke is much more wholesome and of the moment. The other one, okay, we'll talk about favorite lines. There's not been a ton.
No, but that one really got me.
But they're so notable. What job? Summa cum Luke? We'll talk about it. I can't wait till next week. The season 7 recap is going to
be
off.
Unhinged. It's going to be truly unhinged. Anyway, Rory is leaving in 2 days because now it is Saturday. She is leaving on Monday and they have a lot to do. So there's no way they're going to be able to do this party. And Babette says, so this is goodbye. And she's like, no, it's just see you later. I want to come by tomorrow and like say goodbye to everybody. And that is her plan, is that she's going to spend Sunday kind of making her rounds. And that's why they want to get everything done today. And I love that when they do leave, Babette goes, bye doll faces.
Yeah.
Bye doll faces, plural.
Yeah. But they are really disappointed.
They're all very sad. And I wrote and Luke sees it. And I wrote, poor sad everybody.
Poor sad everybody.
Because we always say poor sad Luke.
Yeah. I forgot. It wasn't until you said that in the last episode that like we hadn't said poor sad Luke in a second.
We hadn't. I hadn't felt bad for Luke whatsoever.
Yeah. It had been quite a while since we had poor sad Luke. But poor sad everyone and Luke to the rescue.
Yes, exactly. So the next scene is at the Dragonfly. Suki's cooking and Luke comes in because he knew that Lorelai was in town. He knew that Suki would be there alone, and he comes in to see her and says, like, she had to cancel, Lorelai had to cancel Rory's party. I want to throw the party anyway and have it be a surprise party. And Suki is elated, not just because of the party, but she's elated because she can see that Luke is not only showing up for Rory, but she points out, and Lorelai would love it. He's like, yeah, right, Rory and Lorelai. And she's like,
she says, Rory and Lorelai. That's the other favorite like delivery. It's because she said Lorelai would really love it. Rory and Lorelai. Rory and Lorelai. It's so good.
But she's really, really excited. And she says, what do you need from me? He says desserts, because he says he already has the burgers and the dogs, the buns, everything. It's coming.
I like that we keep saying dogs.
Dogs, yep.
They are
burgers
hot
and dogs.
But it's like, I just like the imagining like burgers and golden retriever puppies. He's got the burgers and the dogs.
And the dogs.
The dogs are not going on the grill. No, they're just going around.
The golden retriever puppies are going to be played with.
And they get to eat the burgers.
Exactly.
What a good day for them.
Exactly.
Anyway,
she's
but this
is really
excited.
Cute. It's really, really cute. And
she's scheming.
She is. And she tells him to call Jackson because he can help with anything else he may need, which is true. That happens later. Yeah.
That's so wife of her to volunteer her husband.
Oh, that'd be me. I'd be like, yeah, call Brett. Anyway. So the girlies are still wandering through Stars Hollow. They're shopping. And as they're kind of going through things, you can tell Lorelai is very much on a mission. She is keeping herself very focused on the list. She doesn't want to reminisce. She doesn't want to get sentimental. She wants to be focused on this.
She's focused. But
and
this is so giving season 4, episode 1.
Totally.
Like, this is totally them realizing that she got the Yale orientation date wrong. And they're not going to have the whole week that they had planned.
Yes, 100%.
And I like it. I like this parallel.
Me too. I do too. So there are certain things they want to borrow from certain people so they don't have to spend money and they can get them right away. And so she wants to borrow one of those back support things for a chair for Rory from Miss Patty. And so she goes to Patty's, knocks on the door, and the door is locked, which is very odd.
Because it's always unlocked.
Patty opens the door very
Wait, what is that from? Where they like open the door just slightly?
Yeah.
Is that the Wizard of Oz?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just slightly.
Where they they pull it open, that little
It's
square.
true. They open the little, yeah. How did you feel about us getting... I was torn between wishing that we hadn't seen the townspeople against the wall in the dark until after they left.
That's what I agreed. I thought that it should have been then. And she's like, okay, bye. And closed
the door,
and then everyone,
we see everybody.
Yeah.
Because we do get that. But at first, when she opens the door and they're like, hi, Patty, and she's like, hi, I'm consulting with my muse. And like then we get a flash to everybody inside, and it's cute, but I kind of wish that maybe we'd been like, what is she up to? And then we see the other side of it when the girlies do walk away. And
I still like the reveal.
Me too. The reveal is great. They're having a little town meeting. It's not an official town meeting, as Taylor points out multiple times. Nothing about this is official. But this is something that we talked about in our town meetings episode back in the fall of last year.
Yeah.
Because I just find this to be a little caricature in the same way that I found the townies to be a little caricature-y in Luke's Diner, when it's like, no, party? But what about Rory? What about the
ensemble?
Party?
They're all about to start singing.
And that's kind of how I felt
Zach.
here. Oh my gosh. Between like, and y'all know that I already said this on pod, that I didn't love that Lane was like, come on, Taylor, it is Rory, for God's sakes. So I was like, okay, guys, we could have given them
Zach's
better dialogue.
Dude, you're the one who's a regular. Yeah. And then it feels like it's going to go bum, bum, bum.
Highly irregular. He's highly irregular.
Exactly. That's exactly what I had in my mind. There's like people moving the chairs and like everyone's snapping. And like Taylor's like got his hands up like, what's going on? Oh wait, hold on. Wasn't Taylor in a wheelchair in the last episode?
Yes, he broke his leg in the last episode. I'm like, he's just standing. Everything's fine.
It makes me wonder if Michael Winter actually had an issue, like that he needed to be seated. Like maybe he had some sort of something, and they wrote it in. But I don't know.
Maybe, but he's up and about now.
Yeah, wasn't this like
a couple days ago? Yeah. Yes.
That's recently. I just remembered that. But I'm surprised that that Taylor is mad at all of them. That's like, you don't have the proper permits and licenses, and this is unofficial. We can't do this.
I think that the intention behind it was that Taylor is always the one to approve, disapprove, whatever. He's always spearheading these things, and the town is finally standing up to Taylor and being like, either you're in or you're out. We're doing it.
Yeah, that's why they're going to start singing.
And that is when they start singing, which I thought was just a little campy. Not that I don't like camp, but I just thought was a little cheesy. I was like,
that's
okay.
why, like, I kind of wish he would have been like, you don't have that. Okay, you have to do this, this, and this. Do you want to do this party? Like, that feels like more of the relationship. Like, he would have shut it down.
100%.
He would have wanted to have it.
He wouldn't have been like, oh, well, okay.
Like, when it's like, this is an unofficial town meeting, so this is unofficial, like, whatever. I forget exactly what the wording was. But it just feels like he would have, like, stood his ground. Like, I want to have this party as much as the next person. Like, my hands are tied. You have to have a permit. You're going to give me the permit. Of course. But you have to go through the hoops. And I feel like that would have made more sense.
Yeah. Other than being like, all right, Taylor, put up your dukes. Yeah. Taylor's like, whoa, okay, you can have your party. Like, I just wanted something a little bit more. But
I am surprised also that Kirk is doing music.
Thank you.
Love that Maury has a sound system.
And love that Kirk's name was Captain K when he was a DJ. But Great. Why not Lane?
Why not Lane?
Why not it be Lane?
Zach? Why not Hep?
Even Maury, but it's just so funny. Well, Kirk has DJ'd some things before. He DJ'd Liz and TJ's wedding.
Yeah, but I just would have loved for Hep to rock.
Oh,
the last rock of Hep.
Yeah, we don't get that. Maybe Sebastian Bach was not available. Because we don't see him at all. I don't remember the last time we see him. I guess the baby shower.
Oh, what a bummer.
Total bummer.
We couldn't have gotten Sebastian.
I know.
But bye, little Sebastian.
Yeah? Is that your song for him? Your little goodbye song?
You don't watch Parks and Rec?
Oh, I haven't seen Parks and Rec in a long time.
Little Sebastian, the little horse.
Oh, no, I don't remember.
And Chris Pratt sings that song for him?
I haven't seen it in probably easily 10 years.
Okay. Show. I'm going to play that song for you after this.
Thank you.
Because I did not make that song.
I was like, okay.
No. But anyway, I would have liked for Hep to rock, but I accept Kirk. Kirk.
So they start after dark. Taylor's either in or he's out. Apparently he's in, but it's unofficial. And he's like, okay, I don't approve of this, but you're doing it. So they start after dark. And later that day, it is dark. The girlies are still walking through Stars Hollow, and yet they only have one bag. I wish that they had more stuff. Because I'm like, what's happening
Maybe it's in the car. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But everyone is trying, like, as they're chatting through everything, everybody's trying to come out with all this stuff. They notice them, they see them, they go back out. Very
sitcom
of them. Not still very Gilmore Girls.
Not still very Gilmore Girls. Still loved it.
Thought it was funny.
It was not, I would not say it's canon to season 1 through 6. Like, no. But loved it.
They
did get a little too close before they noticed them.
Yeah, I was like, are you going to stop? Who's going to notice?
But I did love it.
I think it was Scott. Scott was the person that needed to be the anchor to that.
Yeah.
Him noticing, and then they go back. Because all of them were looking at them. And I was like, you all see them.
Yeah. Someone stop. But then when they leave and Lorelai turns and looks and she's like, what was that?
Yeah. But Lorelai is going to go to Suki's to get a fanny pack. And Rory is going to go to Lane's. Right. And I love this scene at Lane's. I wanted to sit right in between these two.
I would have loved to. It would have been a tight squeeze. But
it would have been
nice.
But they
I could have leaned against the railing.
I could have watched, and I did watch. They are so freaking cute, these two.
Do we call this a cup of coffee?
No, it's tea. I saw the tea bag.
Is it tea? Oh, man.
Because I was going to, and then Rory picks it up, and it's tea. And I was like...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it is just a really cute setup. It's giving Suki and Lorelai on the porch
drinking
wine.
Like they're older now.
Yeah, and they're reminiscing, and I refuse to believe this, like, propaganda I'm not falling for, Billy Fink.
I know. Okay, when she said Dave Rogowski's name, I was like, invoking Dave but not bringing him back. Fine.
I know.
But I was like, Billy Fink?
Yeah, propaganda I'm not falling for. Billy Fink was Lane's first kiss.
No,
absolutely not.
It was Dave.
It was Dave. But you can see Zach is pacing inside a little bit. Mm-hmm. And he eventually opens the window and says, can I talk to you in private? And Lane comes inside. He says, Luke just called and he wants to start setting up, but the guest of honor is sitting right outside.
Facing the town square.
Basically face the town square. And she says, it's my last night with my best friend. And I found that really interesting. Why wouldn't tomorrow be your last night with your best friend?
But like solo.
Yeah.
Like just the two of them.
No. Oh, that's true. I was going to say, for all intents and purposes, like after the party, or like for as far as Rory knows, like they could hang out tomorrow night. Yeah, it's tough. But I just kind of wanted to be like, what time is it? I would be like, hey, I love you, but like I got to go to bed. You should go home.
Yeah, I got to wake up with my kids when they wake up, because they are kids and they're babies. They don't decide to wake up at normal times.
Totally. So by the time she comes back out, Rory is spiraling. She's like, what if I'm a terrible reporter? She's
panicking.
She's panicking. She's like, everybody is telling me that I can do this, but how does everybody know? Why does everybody just always give me that benefit of the doubt that I'm always going to do a good job? What if I don't do a good job? And I'm like, yeah, that honestly probably set you up for a little bit of failure.
No, but Lane says she'll get better.
Yeah, she's like, then you'll get better. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a good best friend conversation.
I think so too.
I really, really loved this conversation between the two of them, because this is when Rory brings up that Lorelai's not freaked out at all. She's like, she's not even a little sentimental. She's just making lists and doing stuff. And Lane is like, I'm sure she's freaking out on the inside. And she's like, I don't know, maybe. And I think that was really sweet. The one thing that, again, felt just a little like, I know that the writers were anticipating that this was the finale, but it was, your friendship means so much to me, that like is very sweet, but had me just kind of like,
it's too direct.
It's very direct.
Because then she says, I know
they're like hitting us,
but I feel like I had one.
Yeah, they're like hitting us over the head with it.
Which, didn't they say that on Love Island?
I don't know. I don't watch Love Island.
I watched a clip of Love Island on Threads or something, and I think that they said that there too.
So funny.
You don't watch Love Island? I thought you did. I thought that was in your lineup.
It's not in my lineup, but I know people are like really loving it this
Surprised.
season. Yeah.
No, because I on Pretty Little Podcast, they're talking about Love Island, and I just assumed that you knew the deets.
I know,
I've just been listening to things I don't understand, but I'll still listen to those girlies say anything.
I know, me too. It's true.
But yeah, that part of it, I was like, I feel like it could have in
some ways hitting us over the head with a lot of it.
100%.
And I'm like, and that's what has me like, guys, this was the series finale. How did none of you really know?
Yeah, how did you not feel it so deeply?
Yeah.
Speaking of over the head, question. As someone who is an expert in 2 haircuts, does Lane have extensions?
Oh, I didn't notice.
Because she's jellyfishing a little bit, but I didn't know if it was just the way that her hair was styled.
Though. Rory's kind of jellyfishing a little bit.
Not like Lane was.
Really?
Lane had a short cut with extensions, and like when it was the side profile, and we had, because I actually really loved the camera setup of the scene too.
I did too.
On Lane, and then like a wide shot for Rory's close up, and you didn't notice it in that one, but you did notice it, and maybe it was just her hair is that long, and it was the styling was weird, but it definitely felt like short haircut.
Long extensions. That's very 2007 of them, though, to give her either cut like that or extensions like that, because I noticed in the last couple episodes that Rory's hair was kind of like that. Looked great, but it was very short in the front. I couldn't tell if it was all the way around, but even when she puts her hair up, you can tell that like she has really at least like she has a lot of layers. Yeah.
Especially because in when she rejects Logan, famously, her hair looks fantastic.
Exactly.
But in part because her layers are so curled so well. So I think hers are layers. But Lane's had 1 and then 2. 1.
I love that you said I'm an expert in 2 haircuts, because we all know we were talking about famously jellyfishing. Anyway, so Rory goes back to the Lorelai's house where Lorelai is ironing.
And she says, this girl iron before?
I've never seen this woman iron in my life. An iron? And she says, the flatter the clothes, the more you can fit in your suitcase. And I was like, whoa, that's so true. She's so right.
Like, true, but like when she pulls out those clothes, I was like, they couldn't get any tinier.
They truly couldn't. Like, and I've seen Rory wear those little tiny tank tops. So funny. But she's keeping herself very busy. And I know this feeling of like, you are trying so hard to concentrate on this because, as she says, if she doesn't, she's going to fall apart.
Well, because Rory said, how can you be okay with everything? And she says, it's too soon.
I know.
That I'm going to fall apart. We still have time left. It's too soon.
Yeah, I started crying during that part too. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
No, they weren't, as it turns out.
As it turns out, they weren't kidding us.
Yeah.
So then we go to the town square. They're setting up because now Rory and Lorelai are at home. The coast is clear. I think it's like 1 a.m. They said.
That's what Jackson says.
Yeah.
Because they asked where they can get a wedding tent
at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
But they've basically scoured the entire town and woken people up to get things to set this up, which I think is really cool.
Namely Eastside Tilly, who they woke up and
Eastside Tilly.
She was so upset and they loved it.
Yeah, and they were like, great. Honestly, score. So one of my favorite lines is when they're talking about needing more chairs and that they can get them from the high school gymnasium. Yeah. And they were like, I think that the door is chained. And Brian's like, well, I could slip through. I'm skinny like that.
I forgot that we see him there. I was wondering if we saw Brian. But I love that everyone's looking to Luke. Luke's in charge of this whole thing.
He truly is. Yeah. And he's going to make sure the whole town makes this happen. And I think that's so fun. You know what else I really loved is that our honorary background actor, who I believe was in like every single episode of Gilmore Girls, it's an actor named Robert Michael Lee. He finally got a line.
Man number two.
I'm so happy for him.
What's it called? The
Yeah.
The round table. Is that what it's called?
Lazy Susan?
No, it was for the DJ.
Oh, the turntable.
Oh,
okay. I couldn't remember what he had in his hand.
How the
turntables. Yeah. But yeah, it's really cool because we've seen him in the background of a lot of scenes, not just at Luke's Diner, but mostly at Luke's Diner. And as a townsperson, he got a line and I was so happy.
Yay.
I was so happy.
I would love to talk to him.
Me too. But then we get a shriek from the distance. It's Babette.
Which it reminded me of early season 6. When Babette is like, Luke! And he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
She's holding her boobs. Yeah, that really, really got me. It felt very similar.
Yeah.
And she says, my ankles! He's like, okay. She's like, it's going to rain.
Okay, she delivers another favorite line, though, about meteorologists. And she likes them because they're kind of like astronauts crossed with fortune tellers. And I was like, holy shit, that's so true. You know who loves meteorologists famously is Hannah, my sister.
Hannah loves a meteorologist.
She fucking loves meteorologists so much that like we're planning her birthday party around meteorology.
I love that.
But I just love astronaut crossed with a fortune teller, and I was like,
so true.
100%.
Honestly, loved it. That made me laugh so hard. But she says first thing in the morning, like she double checked, and it is going to rain. There is a storm coming, and she says, my ankles, you can take them to the bank. And we find out you indeed can take them to the bank.
Oh my God, they delivered on this rain.
They sure did. And this is when, Jackson says, where can we get a wedding tent at 1 a.m.? And Zach says, I'm sorry, man, to Luke. Like, it was a good thought. Because they're trying to come up with different solutions, but a wedding tent seems to be the only one. We kind of leave that sitting there. So then we... it's the middle of the night, and Lorelai comes into Rory's room for like one of the saddest things I've ever watched on the show, which is when she comes in and just like sits and watches her sleep, because this is such a sentimental moment. This is sad. Yeah, this is hard.
That's her whole world.
I just wrote crying in all caps. And then simultaneously while she's doing that, Luke is at Luke's Diner, and he is up all night sewing tarps together.
Yeah, because at first you don't know what it is, but you're like, he's putting something's occurring here.
Yeah.
The one part of this, another like very like slight qualm that I have with this, that I was maybe not even qualm, just like shock, is men's pockets. Because he takes that long necklace box out of the drawer, looks at it, and then puts it in his pocket.
I know. Men's pockets are big.
Men's pockets are wild. I know that was not the point of the scene, but I was like, oh my God, you're putting that in your pocket. I could have put it in my pocket. My pocket's so little.
No, our pockets are very little.
Are men's pockets like that? That you could put a whole necklace box in there?
They're vast. I don't know what's in there, honestly.
What's in a man's pocket?
So many things. It's like a Mary Poppins bag.
Mary Poppins pockets.
Yeah, Mary Poppins pockets.
Hot pockets. How many times can we say pockets?
Yeah, but he does pull out the Lorelai necklace. He looks at it, he puts it in his pocket, and it's a reminder to us that the necklace is still there.
And I like that he like kept it, but I was just like, whoa.
Holy
shit.
That's
a big box.
I know.
In that little pocket.
No, it's a big pocket. I promise.
As it turns
Men's
out.
pockets are big. It's unfair.
That's what I wrote. Men's pockets are wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, we then get the Lalas.
Yeah.
The Lalas.
The Lalas. Yeah.
And, well, with those Lalas, they're not by themselves. There's a scene with it, and it's pouring rain, and the girlies are in the Jeep. Rory can't get in touch with anyone because she's trying to say goodbye. And as it turns out, she doesn't have to because, behold, there's a party.
There is a huge party in this torrential downpour.
Running towards them. It's so clear that there's some sort of device that is creating this rain.
Yes, it is.
but I love it nonetheless.
I love it.
Jackson and Zach run forward with umbrellas. It seems planned, but it's not. Were they just waiting for the girls to drive up?
They were waiting for the girls to come. They were like, nobody answered their phones. They'll come. They'll show up eventually.
If we say nothing, they will come.
So
they'll
true.
need coffee at some point, those girls.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Rory's like, was this you? She said I didn't know anything about it. And she didn't.
Which I love. I love that it was kind of a secret kept from Lorelai as well. And so they get them, bring them up to the party, and they go under this tent and everybody is there. And it's so sweet. I do too.
It's so cheesy, but like just everyone cheering for her. There were some people missing. TJ
notably was missing. Sebastian Bach. Who else was I like, where is this person?
Would Chris have been there?
Oh, I don't know. We got what we needed to out of him in the last episode.
Logan should have been there.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he's real good at a bon voyage.
Yeah, it's true. He is. He's good at the bon
14-year-old me would have died.
I know.
To have Logan Hatzberger there.
I know. I'm trying to think, because I do feel like there was someone, I was kind of like, where is that person? Maybe it was TJ.
Oh, Mrs. Kim. Where was she? Was she there?
That is also weird. I think the last time we saw her was the baby shower. That is weird. But hey, what are you going to do? So everybody's there. It's very...
Cast them for that episode.
Have them there. But everybody was there. And this is where I wrote, okay, I'm just sobbing now because it was very sweet.
I loved Patty's face.
I know. She's like, hi. It was so cute.
So cute.
So Kirk comes in. He's the town sash maker. We all...
Well, he's the town sash presenter, and as the town sash presenter, he also made it as the official town sash maker.
Oh, of course. Perfect. From one of his mother's 90s. And she goes, ew.
But I love that the sash just says Rory Gilmore.
Yes.
I desperately want a sash that just says Haley McIntosh.
That's so funny.
It's so cute.
Yeah. And as he puts it on her, Lorelai realizes that her parents are there, which is very sweet. Emily is in one of her classic looks. Richard, of course, is in a bow tie. And, she goes over and talks to them. And Richard is incredibly sentimental with her.
I know. But before he gets sentimental, she says, thanks for coming. And Emily says, we wouldn't miss it, of course. We're her grandparents.
Yeah.
And I was like, you are her grandparents. And I love you. I was like full crying at this point, like not even trying to stop it. It was just falling down my face.
Me too. I just I wish I could show you all the tissues. I threw them away, but I just was like,
thank you for throwing
crying.
Them away.
Yeah, any time. But this was
Richard
very emotional. Yeah, he gets very sentimental with her. And what made me so sentimental about watching this is knowing the behind the scenes of...
No, I didn't think about it.
Well, of them all kind of feeling like they're saying goodbye to each other because they don't know. But knowing what the future holds, unfortunately, for, Richard's character and Ed Herman himself is very sad.
Gosh.
Because Emily goes, it's not as if you two are saying goodbye. And I'm like, but they are.
Well, for all intents and purposes, in the narrative, they're not.
They're not.
But for
no.
us,
but
they
for
are.
us, they are.
Ooh, Tara.
I know. No, I'm just like sobbing at this point.
I didn't think about this as like when we're seeing him last. Ooh.
Yeah.
A true goodbye.
A true goodbye. That's very sad. Emily hates it, by the way. She's like,
stop. She hates it. She can't stand this. Do you think that's out of character, or do you think she would let him do it?
No, I think this is very on par for her because of how emotional she gets later.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Anyway,
hypocritical, but he says it takes a remarkable person to inspire all of this,
because he says, like, I regret that he basically is going to say, I regret that you felt like you had to run away to this place, but at the same time it takes a really remarkable person to inspire all of this, because this party is not just for her, it's for you too. And he's been very sentimental in the last couple episodes, between the graduation and this. And it's really sweet. It's very tender.
How does do that? She was like, don't turn into one of those people who has a heart attack and then get sentimental. I'm like, yeah, he can.
He can and he will. So.
But that's when she says, it's
Emily,
you two are saying goodbye.
Right. Right. And I'm like, but you unfortunately are.
Okay.
And so then she says, weird. Well, she asks, before things get weird, she says, have you given any more thought to my spa idea? And Lorelai says, no, I'm honestly not interested. And I was really surprised by that. I don't know where they were trying to take that. Well, in this moment, I'm like, where are you trying to take this? And it wasn't until like the last bits between the two of them that I'm like, oh.
She's trying to get,
trying
to rope her back in. Because she can't say, hey, I actually really like you as a person and as my daughter, and I want to spend more time with you. Could you come to dinner every week just on your own, just because you want to? But she can't say that.
No.
She couldn't say that. But you know what I wish someone couldn't have said was Taylor.
Yeah. Taylor launches into this entire diatribe about how the town is basically sending Rory off as if they're going through childbirth.
They're birthing her into the world.
They're birthing her
Push you out into the world.
Yeah.
Spank your bottom. Wipe the amniotic fluid out of your eyes.
I didn't need to hear it again, Haley.
Well, maybe our besties did not just recently watch it and needed to be reminded
that
they were going to spank Rory Gilmore's bottom before she went on to her job on
then
Barack Obama's parade tour.
Correct. He goes, Rory, would you like to say a few words? And that just had me like, okay, stop.
You should have had a top hat on.
But but also I was like, yes, someone else talk, please.
Yeah.
Anybody else.
Yeah.
But she, she is getting sentimental. She's like, I don't want to gush, but I feel like I'm going to gush. But she does that and turn to her mom and thank her mom. And I just am, now I'm crying. Still.
Yeah. I love that she says, I love this place.
Oh.
Because same, Rory.
Yeah.
Same. I think Alexis does a really good job of like feeling like she's been put on the spot, but filled with so much gratitude.
Yeah.
But also that like awkwardness that Rory has always kind of felt with the town, or like that we have felt with her. But it's when she turns to her mom.
Yeah. That I lose it. Because
watching
Lauren watch Alexis is really what...
Oh my gosh.
I said her name and she was like...
Oh.
I didn't say her name, but you know what I mean.
It was close enough.
Watching Lauren watch her from that perspective and seeing the tears well up in her eyes is hard, because it's like when Rory says, I am going to miss you so much, you feel that from the actresses, because like,
yeah,
there had to have been some level that they kind of knew what this was.
Yeah, that they saw it come in.
Yeah,
in some regard, that they weren't. It wasn't completely blindsided.
No,
that there was this element that perhaps. But I think that the part of it, because it's so clear, this is Rory and Lorelai and they're having this moment.
Yeah.
But I think there's something so sweet about Lauren watching Alexis in this moment, from like having come from where like we're at in our current rewatch in season 1, where she like famously like had to like drag her to her mark, and like she's kind of manhandling her, like jokingly they said in the ATX reunion, because she didn't quite understand what she was doing. This was like her first role, and now she's up there having had like 7 seasons of experience. I think that's really sentimental too.
I agree. I totally agree. So they say, let's get this party started. And we cut to some like the evening. It's dancing.
Is there a disco ball?
Yeah. Like they went all out here.
Luke.
I know.
Where'd you get it?
I know.
Patties.
I have so many logistical questions, especially since
From
Tom
the
the
dance
contractor
marathon.
wasn't there. Oh, there you go. Maybe that's where it was from.
The contractor, Tom. I bet he was there.
As they're serving food from Patty, who is Lauren Graham's stand-in, and she says, no bratwurst. And I was like,
I guess I'll have
that's funny.
corn.
I guess I'll have corn. That was really
Is
funny.
that the substitute for a brat?
I guess. I don't know. But I'm like, isn't that what you did get bratwurst? Because
No, he didn't actually get it.
He didn't get it.
Charlie was trying to sell him on it, but he didn't get it.
Right. That's so funny.
Because no one was going to eat it, except for Patty.
Yeah. So,
Different Patty, but Patty nonetheless.
yeah, that's true.
Probably woman number one.
Woman number one. But Emily comes over to Lorelai because I think that they're going to head out. But she says she wants to talk about the spa. She's like, I really, like, even if it's not a spa, could it be a tennis court? Like, she's
In
like,
a bubble.
In a bubble. And she's like, what? And she says, obviously, we'll loan you we're willing to loan you the money for it. And obviously we'll want to get together to discuss it. And that's when it clicks for Lorelai. She goes,
Hits her upside
Mom,
the head.
why don't we just talk about it Friday at dinner? And Emily goes, oh. She's like, yeah, I figured that I might as well. I mean, we've been
She
doing
says
it.
she still want to do that. She says, might as well. I've gotten used to it.
Yeah, that's very
And
sweet.
I like that. I think that I wish that Emily had been a little more Emily in that moment of like, you still want to do that? Like, I kind of like almost like accepting, like, yeah, like almost like not looking a gift horse in the mouth of like, yeah, I will see you then. Don't wear jeans.
Yes. Don't wear
like
jeans.
that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Just to, I don't know. I feel like there's at various moments of this, Emily leans a little bit too uncertain, and maybe that's good. Maybe we like it. I haven't decided, but I just feel like at some points she's not quite Emilying
yeah,
as much
this
as she could Emily.
I think because it's a very sentimental episode.
Yeah, I still loved it.
Especially when she says to Rory, it is an honor to be your grandmother, Rory Gilmore. Which is very sweet. Very emo.
I mean, come on, y'all.
I know.
Like,
but
why
again, we are kind of hitting the audience over the head with this dialogue.
Yeah.
As sentimental and emotional as it is. And I love that line.
Yeah.
It is, to me, I'm just sitting here going like, this is the finale.
This is it.
This is it, y'all.
It's over.
It's over.
Are you guys reading the lines? Reading the room?
Yeah. So, but I do love.
I think there was hope, though.
Of course. And I always love hope. Love it. Big fan of hope.
Not a hope I haven't loved that I met.
That's so true. But anyway, I do
I meant
love
to say
within the
haven't met a
narrative.
hope I haven't loved. That's actually what I meant to say. I was like, that didn't make any sense, Haley. Anyway, back to it.
I do love that, like, Emily is the one telling Richard not to be emotional, whereas Emily then gets very emotional and she's
Emo
like,
Emily.
okay, emo Emily. So Rory
Like,
walks
she wants
them.
her to call because she was like, not just postcards.
Not just postcards.
To call.
Yeah, it's very sweet. So she walks them to their car, it seems, and Suki enters the chat with Lorelai, and Lorelai's thanking her
2007
profusely.
eyebrows.
Yes. But thanking her profusely and saying, like, you know, this is amazing. And she's like, this was all Luke. And she's like, yeah, he must
made me
have
promise
stayed
not
up.
to tell you. Mm-hmm. But I don't care.
But I don't care. She's like, he stayed up all night doing this. And she's like, when he found out it was going to rain, he literally got every tarp, raincoat, anything he could find to make this and make sure that this happened. And that really hits Lorelai. That's the grand gesture. That's the response.
I love that Suki says, can you believe that? She says, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you can.
Of course.
Yeah.
And so she starts walking towards Luke's. I love all the little like asides that come in, like Kirk's eardrum popped, and Babette says, do you want to make a Maury sandwich? She's like, maybe later, because she's got her eyes on the prize. And she walks towards Luke's, and Luke is coming out. I assume it's something for the grill. It's what it looks like in his hand. And she says thank you, and he's like, oh, you know,
it's no big deal.
It's no big deal. And then he says,
huge deal.
I just like to see you happy. And they kiss.
Do you think that they earned the kiss?
It's difficult to say. I really wish that this had been built up a bit more, personally. I think that we can talk about this next week, but season 7 relied really heavily on everything that had been built leading up to this point to sustain the audience's curiosity and investment in relationships like Logan and Rory's, like Luke and Lorelai's, without, in my opinion,
even
doing
Chris and Lorelai too.
Yeah, totally. And without doing like the work within the scope of season 7 to really keep that alive, because this does feel a little like, oh, okay, and now they're suddenly back together. Yeah. But it is sweet knowing the context of where we've come from and what we're rooting for as an audience, because we didn't love how they ended things.
Of course. There was a little too much animosity in the last episode between them to get to this, and like the whole gestures that needed to be offered up that were encouraged by multiple of their side character confidants.
Totally.
But I think that when they like met each other in the street, there was too much tension for like the next like real interaction of them on their own to be them kissing. I would have bought it if all he said was, "I just like to see you happy," and like that was
it.
Like I really think that like sometimes like the better moment is not to break the tension.
I agree
with the kiss. Like sometimes there's something sweeter in the possibility of what's next.
Yeah,
and I don't think
it open-ended, whereas they really spelled it out for us here.
Yeah, like I don't think either of them would have kissed. I don't think it would have led to a kiss. I don't think it could have. I think we could have built to it, but I think based on where we were at in the last even 2 episodes.
No, I agree with you.
I
just like to see you happy, and then it kind of pans up camera wise. I actually would have really loved that, because I did feel like this kiss was a little awkward.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just sudden. Uncalled for is the wrong word, but it just like was like sudden. But like if he would have just said that, and they would have just been like, great, and then it's just them walking back to the.
No, I think we even could have left them standing there in the middle of the street staring at each other. Like I still would have been fine with that too. Just look at each other, Yeah. I would have liked that. So they kiss, we leave things there.
Yeah.
And
I would have though loved if we would have had like, you look nice. This is nice. They always say nice. Like that's like their thing.
You look nice. Yeah, that's true. So the next morning, it's 5 a.m. and they're finishing up packing. It's Monday. And Lorelai tells her, she's like,
one last thing. So sorry. I just noticed this in my note. The music was it turned us away. When they kissed, the music started up.
Yeah.
I felt like that was a weird choice. I feel like that took me out of it, because I was like, what are we? It's the music from the party, but it's like suddenly not in the narrative anymore. It's outside of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought that was kind of, I thought that you would have noticed the music.
I did, because I was trying to figure out what song it was, and I wish I'd written it down, but it was moreover that I was trying
Inside
to like,
Out.
Yeah. Yes. And I was trying to like really vibe with this moment. And I couldn't quite figure out what I didn't like about it, and it was the kiss.
It was the kiss.
You're
There's
so
the kiss
right.
in the music. I would have liked a little Gilmore-ification of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Law, strum, anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think, it's okay to associate an outside song. I mean, Then She Appeared is, Jess and Rory's, but they do also get the la-las.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyway, we are.
So next day morning, it's 5 a.m. The girlies are finishing up packing, and Lorelai says that she feels like she's a little ambushed. She wishes that she had more time, and she has more to tell her, and she's rambling, and she's like, telling
choose
her,
a good seat.
Yeah, choose a good seat.
Which is such a good advice.
Shorts.
People will sit in the same seats.
No, so true. Don't wear shorts, bring Ziploc bags. Oh, I'll give you that orange sweater you've always wanted. And as she's rambling, Rory says, Mom, you've given me everything I need. Which is so sweet.
Like, to everything that you've said of like, how did you guys not know this was it? Like, Rory says that, like, how are you guys coming back?
Yeah.
Like, how you come back from that?
No, you're not.
This is the end.
This is the end.
And I'm crushed.
Yeah.
By her saying that, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, they
she said, you ready? She goes, it's 5 a.m. What's the rush?
What's the rush?
And she says, we've got a stop to make. And this is quite possibly the most perfect way they could have ended this. We get 2 cups of coffee. Luke opens early. I do think they hit us over the head a little bit with her wearing the necklace and him being like, take all the time. Yeah, and him being like, take all the time you need. That was cute, but again, hitting us over the head a little too much with it. I like the subtlety of what Amy offered us in seasons 1 through 6. It was never really this overt, right?
I think I would have felt like it wasn't overt if they hadn't kissed. If they hadn't kissed, and he would have been like, take all the time you need. And it would have felt like there was tension there.
Correct. And I think that, I would have liked it. You're right. If the kiss hadn't happened. But I think that had she been wearing the necklace and we had noticed it as an audience, almost like an Easter egg, less Rory pointing it out, I think I also would have liked that a little bit more too.
Yeah.
But then they start talking about, just the logistics of everything.
Yeah.
And we pan out, and that the la-las kick in, and that's the finale of Gilmore Girls.
And it's
perfect.
The last scene of the pilot.
Yeah. It's such, and this is where I said, like, the Christiane Amanpour of it all, and this feels like, oh, you really, really did your research in how this show, like what the roots of this show were, and this was it. Yeah. It's the same pan out as the pilot, and it's perfect.
The window doesn't make sense. Doesn't have writing on it?
Ooh, yeah, you're so right. It does.
It was a different setup. There's like lights around it.
I think that they tried to set it up the way that the pilot was shot.
And
the pilot was arguably a different.
It was a different Luke's, but I kind of wish they would have left it as like what Luke's is now.
Yeah.
To show that like everything's the same, but things change. But I did like it.
I loved it.
I thought it was a perfect little ending.
I agree.
To our little show that had a really rough last season.
It had a really brutal last season, but I think overall I did enjoy this episode.
Me too.
There were a lot of discrepancies I had with some of the lines and the language, and it feeling a little too after school special and sitcom-y.
A little heavy-handed.
Yeah, a little heavy-handed in the way that they kind of hit us over the head with some things. But on the whole, I would probably rate this, I don't know, like a 7?
Yeah, I was going to say 7.5, actually.
Yeah, 7 or an 8. It's kind of where I was at.
I mean, even an 8.
I'd give it an 8. Yeah.
Like, honestly, when you brought Ed Herman into all of it, I was like, ugh.
I know. No, it's it is a very solid finale. Even though I take issue with some of the, language, dialogue, and scenes and everything, like the way that Luke and Lorelai, we bring that full circle. I do think it's a really great way to wrap everything up.
I think that, yes, when you get down to the nitty gritty of it, some of the things could have been changed. Words could have been cut, held back on some of the emotions, pushed forward on others. But I actually think that this is a really good series finale, just in general, in terms of if we lined up series finale. I think this one does a good job. The only reason I riot is because my show's over unexpectedly when I'm 14 years old. And I had to wait 9 years to see them again. But I mean, you get to see them again. Sometimes you never see your favorite characters again. But
exactly.
Anyway.
So
I give it an 8.
I give it an 8 as well. We got 4 cups of coffee, which brings us to 50 cups of coffee for the season.
Ooh, what were our guesses? We can talk about it in the next step.
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty solid number of cups of coffee for the season.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about what our predictions were. But I would say overall a really, really good series finale.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got to cover it on pod with all of our besties.
I know. I'm interested to see how everyone feels about
actually,
the ending of it.
Please call us because we're going to have a season 7 GTC. Call us with your feelings. Kiss, no kiss, necklace, no necklace. Like, what did you think about some of the townies? Like, if you disagree with us, let us know. Call our hotline or voicemail.
Anything from season 7, not just this episode.
Yeah, your thoughts, ways that you maybe would have changed it, because the next few episodes are really going to be all about season 7. Next week is our season 7 recap, followed by a season 7 Gilmore to Consider, followed by a season 7 What If.
What if? And I think that, like, that is a lot of season 7.
It is.
I think in part because there have been a lot of requests throughout our term of Gilmore to Say for more season 7 commentary what ifs, but we've been wanting to finish it. Oh my God, I can't believe we finished it. But like, we've been wanting to get to the end before we could give our like full thoughts on season 7.
And we'll have more to say on that in the next episode.